Okay, next step, frame has been prepped. Now we got to get the new Kevlar floor to fit in the back. Boom, look at that. Floor is in. Through the magic of editing. Actually, it's not magic or editing. I just stopped the camera and put the floor in and turned it back on. But save you guys the tedium of watching us pull this thing in and out 20 times to get the fit just right. But now it is ready. Everything's fitting really nice. All I have to do now is drill my holes through the floor so that I can mark out where I need to put my riv nuts in. And that'll be the permanent mount for the floor to the frame. And then once that is in and solid, then I'll go around like I did for the front and glass the floor to the tub. And it will be officially official. Pretty amazed. All 13 of these holes lined up first try. That didn't happen on the fronts. Pretty big difference going with big old M8 stainless compared to the, I don't know what you would call these things that held in the original OSB. Should be a little bit better. Okay, all bolted in. Before I did that, I went around the perimeter with a 60 grit just to get myself some tooth for the glass in. The next thing I have to do is lift up the shell, because right now it's sitting on the frame. So I need to actually lift it up off the frame to get it to the proper height. I left a little bit of a lip here and there from the old floor, so I can basically lift up the shell right up until it touches, and then I know I'm at the right height. So I'm going to do that, and then I can start glassing it in.
Several days later.
All right, some big updates. We had a family camping trip planned for a while, and we've decided that we're going to try and do what we can to get the Scamp at least habitable. So for the past week, we've been just scrambling to get that last bit of stuff done. I've got the middle floor. It's all done, ready to be trimmed and installed. This is the little piece of floor that's going to be under the kitchen counter, hold the fridge and everything. There's said kitchen counter. My wife Jamie is doing her best to clean it up, at least temporarily. Oh, the frame final prep for paint. Fenders are in and done. The rear floor is all installed permanently. What I'm doing right now is making the supports for this side bit. Just ignore this giant hole right here for now. But I've got this gap where the fiberglass shell matches up with the new fenders. I've got to attach this somehow. So what I've come up with is basically angle iron that'll go along here, reinforce the fender a little bit more yet, and then I will attach it to the outer shell with the mechanical screw, and then this gap will be filled in with seam seal to keep everything out. Basically, that's just a backer for the seam sealer. Yeah, so here's my list of things that we must get done before we can leave. And I've got approximately 24 hours from right now to do it. So wish me luck again. All right, morning of day 2. Beautiful day. Literally did not film a single thing yesterday, so apologies. But we are in final assembly mode. Looks like a scamp exploded in the yard. Sneak peek. Some paint finally. That's all you get. All right, early morning, day 3. Shop dog Jovi, she's ready. Shop wife Jamie, she's ready. Scamp, she's habitable. Ready to drop her down onto the dollies and wheel her out of the garage for the first time. Doesn't it look good behind the element? Coming soon to a Subaru near you. No, I don't have anything against Subarus. My mom has one. And no, that doesn't mean she's a lesbian. I'm just kidding. Don't send me hate mail. Actually, all the lesbians I know really are into Jeeps. And no, I'm not saying anything about Jeeps. Allegedly.
Several days later.
Hey, we went camping. So this is the aftermath wrap-up of kind of where we got and what happened with the Overland Scamp. Man, I really need to come up with a name. So yeah, here's proof that we actually took a camping. Here's proof that it's actually out of the garage. Pretty much everything is roadworthy. The frame, underpinnings, all worked amazingly well. We actually have working lights as far as trailer lights go. No spare yet. But here is the state of it. Starting with the floor. Fiberglass floor is all done. We laid this one up upside down for the whole point of it to be shiny side up so that we would have a better adhesion for our flooring. But my flush mount bolts that I had did not quite reach to the riv nuts underneath, so I had to put some bolts that are slightly proud, so we couldn't do the flooring. But it's one piece floor all the way up and around, and this is the state of the Scamp that we stayed in. This is about the only piece of padding that we got with the Scamp. This is the upper bunk for the front, so that is just a cushion. Ultimately, we are going to convert this into a dinette. So this normal storage space here is going to be where your feet go, little table, chairs, and then that will still be convertible to a bed. And I think we'll probably actually be able to keep the bunk capabilities. The kitchen is basically just the gutted out shell. We're not going to run a propane stove. We will have a sink, and this is just some scrap butcher block that I had, but I actually kind of like it. The only thing is that I left it long to hang out a little bit more, and I think that's a no-no. We're going to cut this off flush, because this is, especially on the bed, this is a bonker for knees and heads. Didn't do anything with the uppers yet, but got some stuff planned. And then the rear, this is the rear Kevlar floor, just with the basic furniture underneath. Haven't quite decided how I'm going to handle that yet. I feel like this could be much better utilized as storage without the factory fiberglass fixtures, but they are strong and pretty light for what they are, so I'm kind of debating how I want to handle that. Our mattress is just 6-inch, I think we went with, memory foam, and we cut it to shape with one of those electric turkey carvers. Very comfortable. As far as electrical, I have the lithium battery under here, right behind the rear tire, mounted with marine mount. My super basic solar setup here, controller. I had this set up a while back just to test out current draw for the fridge and other accessories. I got the smart shunt here from Victron, and that I can just turn one thing on and off and see what it draws. So we did a camping trip earlier in the summer, and just ran the fridge off of the battery for 3 days just to see what it would do, and it barely touched it. It was at 89% at the end. Temporary wiring, but our entire cabin will be controlled by this switch pod. This is actually for off-road accessories, lights, and stuff like that. So this will be kind of our main switch panel. I only wired in one light. These are actually pretty cool. Found these on Amazon. but they're sturdy aluminum. Put a nice amount of light, and dimmable. Got a little USB charger underneath. Nothing with the closet, of course. So yeah, that's kind of what it was. Everything was great. The trailer pulled way better than I thought it would. It was just absolutely rock solid. We didn't take it off road, but we kind of went up north quite a bit, and if you're familiar with the roads in the north of the states, they tend to get pretty frost heaved. So you have these big cracks and it's just kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. And the trailer was just rock steady all the way through. I think it rode nicer than the FJ. So that was a great boost to confidence. We had a little bit of a headwind on the way home. Mileage barely suffered. Yeah, it was just a really excellent test. The only leak that I could find is in this patch. This patch panel ended up being probably the most difficult thing, where they cut this out with a chainsaw. The belly band is like right here, so there's almost nothing that I can screw to. So right now we just have butyl tape, hopefully making a seal, and that didn't quite work. Everywhere else has been really good. But that was the only leak that I found. We had basically a day of rain, and we just basically hung out in the camper, the three of us, and it was great. It was exactly what we kind of were hoping for. We started out with our fridge in the tow vehicle, and that was, as soon as it got rainy and crappy, it was like, well, that was dumb. So that is definitely going to come. We were debating whether we want to put it in the trailer or just leave it in the FJ. So yeah, everything needs to come into the camper, kind of doing a split setup with some of it in the tow vehicle and some of it in the camper. It was obvious right away that that was kind of the wrong way to go. Along with that is the storage. It became like, I want to do storage underneath the permanent bed, but it became pretty obvious because we had some bins that we would slide in and out to get stuff. So we would slide the bins out, and then it was just a mess. And the problem that we would have with, I want to make big drawers. The problem with that is that when they come out, it takes up half of your floor. Obviously couldn't do a whole one because you wouldn't have any way to access it unless you were hanging over from the bed. But you also then couldn't have anything else on the floor. So I think there's a lot of storage available there, but it's going to be for not everyday usage items. But that basically leaves the closet for all of our clothing and stuff. And I don't think either of us really like the whole closet arrangement. So I think what's going to happen is this is going to become basically drawers or cubbies where we can put all of our stuff that we want to get at easily day to day. Moving to the outside, what we did for all of our rivet replacements is these flathead stainless bolts, and then there's a stainless washer on the inside that's conical, and it has a bonded neoprene seal on it. So as you tighten it down, it flattens the washer and creates a seal against the surface. And so far they worked great. It was a bit of fun to try and get them all lined up. For the suspension, everything worked great. Just rode like a dream. It was pretty awesome. We stuck, when we first got it together, we did a test run around the neighborhood, put my wife in the trailer and drove around and just had her listen for any noises or anything. We did have a bit of rubbing on our first test ride. Figured out one of the hubs settled in and it got loose, so I had to adjust that. But these rubber bellows over the shocks, they bellow out into the tire, and the clearances are pretty tight here. There's about a finger's width, so they do rub a little bit on the inside of the tire, just the rubber boot, which I don't really care about. All right, so what are some of the things that we need to work on? I got rid of the refrigerator door handle. I could just the way the handle came, it came out this way, and I could just see snag it on the branch and ripping it off. Plus, it's just kind of a known thing that the Scamp doors just pop open, and I had that actually bringing it home. I had to try and get in there and hold it in with a bungee cord to keep the door shut. So it was always my plan to go to a traditional RV latch. The door is not as thick as a new RV, so I did have to make a spacer, which worked great at first, but it gradually kind of developed play, even though these screws are tight. And I think what's happening is the hollow core door is gradually kind of compressing. So I'm gonna have to pull this off and build up some sort of a reinforcement to keep the door from squishing. And then we went with an automotive style bubble. What do they call these? I'm not sure what the name of this is, but this is the kind of the same. See right there, it goes over the edge of the camper, and then there is the bubble, so the door shuts and it squishes that down, creates a seal. I've got to make this better. Obviously don't have a threshold yet, so there's a big gap right here. But as is a problem with most Scamps, the fiberglass door relaxes, the old school curved doors, so you can see it's really not even pulled in tight. You can just see how much goo has come into the carpet over the years. This is not from us, this has been here. But the design that Scamp used, where it's just this edge trim and then the seal on the regular door is carpet. I mean, I don't know how you would expect to seal against carpet. One idea I had too is to reverse this, take this bubble seal and actually install it on the door so that it comes in and seals against this plastic shell. We'll see how that works. That might actually work better for our door latch area. What else is there? Oh, the headliner. We were going to try and glue the headliner back in, but we kind of decided that since we didn't know how watertight it was going to be, it would be better to just leave it down, and so we could see where leaks might be coming in, and we didn't see any. The other thing is I want to run wiring for everything under the headliner, so we just decided to deal with it being saggy, and we'll put that up once we get all the wiring done. So I think that is a wrap of phase 1 of the Scamperlander project. Now that the frame and the suspension is all sorted and works very good, we get to start focusing on maybe what's more interesting to other people, the interior fit out. So all the creature comforts, doing the electrical, the diesel heater, the solar, all the stuff to make this what we actually want. I do still have hopes of taking this out and getting it at least a mild off-road this late summer, early fall. So still need to keep moving on it, and hopefully we can do that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.